All right, ladies and gentlemen, Witch Queen is officially here, and oh my, I never thought this day would actually come. Never thought I'd actually be able to finally say those words. But nonetheless, if you've been a long-time viewer of the channel, then you know at the start of a new season/expansion, I like to give a brief overview of the new seasonal artifact and which mods you should be using those precious unlocked tokens on. Now, before we get started, I do want to quickly go over what this seasonal artifact is for anyone that might be new. I know with big expansions like Witch Queen, a lot of new players come and start playing Destiny 2, so I just want to give you a brief rundown on what the seasonal artifact. Also, another thing you should know is that the seasonal artifact did get changed starting in Witch Queen / Season of the Risen, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So first up, the seasonal artifact mod, if you're unsure, it can be found at the bottom left of your character's screen. If you don't have it unlocked yet, you unlock it during the first few missions in the Witch Queen campaign. So if you don't have it unlocked, then go to that. You'll eventually get it and it'll appear right here. The seasonal artifact really only does two things. First up, it gives you power bonus levels, which we're not going to talk about in this video because that's going to be a completely separate video on leveling and all that good stuff. The other thing it does is it gives you artifact unlocks. These artifact unlocks are used to unlock artifact mods. Artifact mods are blue, so they are a different color than your traditional gray mods. They require a whole lot less energy to be slotted into a piece of armor, and they are normally really good. Like, you don't play the game without them good. And that's essentially what the seasonal artifact is. The seasonal artifact for season 16, Season of the Risen / the start of Witch Queen, is the Synaptic Spear. Okay, so with what the artifact is out of the way, what has changed about it? Because I mentioned that, well, something had changed. Now, if you recall, or if you've played Destiny prior to Witch Queen, then you'll know that there used to be a cap on how many of these mods you could unlock. So you had to pick and choose which ones you wanted to get. The cap used to be 12. Now the cap is, well, there is no cap. Instead, whenever you get to 12 mods, it'll be the same rate at which you would have previously gotten 12 in previous seasons, like the same amount of XP and all that, except now it goes up to 14 to get to the final column where, you know, it used to be 10 to get to the final column. But besides that, it's essentially like the same amount of XP to get up to that final column or get through your first 12 to 14 mods. But after that, each mod after that first like 12 to 14 is going to require increasingly more XP. Think of your power bonus. How the more power bonus levels you get, the harder it becomes to get another power bonus level because the amount of XP needed just keeps going up. That's essentially everything that's changed. So even with the ability to unlock all the mods, I still believe that it's good to have those first 12 to 14 mods be, well, really good mods, and that's what this video is for, letting you know which of those mods to unlock first. So starting us off with column 1, these are going to be your champion mods. We have anti-barrier scout rifle. Scout rifles you are wielding fire shield-piercing rounds and stun barrier champions. Scout rifles deal bonus damage against barrier champions. Overload rounds, uninterrupted fire from your equipped auto rifles and submachine guns grants bullets that stun combatants, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output, strong against overload champions. Unstoppable hand cannon, aiming down sights with any hand cannon you are wielding loads a powerful explosive payload that stuns unshielded combatants, strong against unstoppable champions. Piercing bowstring, bows gain shield piercing arrows which bypass combatant damage defenses, strong against barrier champions. And finally, unstoppable pulse rifle, aiming down pulse rifle sights loads a high impact burst that stuns unshielded combatants, strong against unstoppable champions. Now, in my opinion, you should unlock all of these mods. Seriously, just unlock all the champion mods. Yes, I know that some can be better than others, but with the current mods that we have, honestly, all of these are good. And like, yes, I know that, you know, unstoppable hand cannon is normally seen as better than unstoppable pulse, but you might be in a situation where you need to use a pulse or you're using an exotic pulse with your build. And just unlock all these right off the get-go. The only one that you might want to not unlock is overload rounds, and that's just because it's currently bugged, doesn't work. And by the time it gets fixed, you'll probably already be at the point where you're unlocking like more mods than what you could have unlocked in previous seasons. So you could skip over this. Now, if you're watching this video a little bit later in the season, then just go ahead and get it. I'll have a pinned comment down below whenever this gets fixed, so you can just check down there to see if it's been fixed yet. Next up in column 2, we have glaive dexterity. Faster, ready, and stow speeds for glaives. Rocket launcher scavenger. Rocket launchers get bonus reserves when picking up heavy ammo. Psionic forging 1 increases the duration of the psycho hack origin trait and the effects of the Suro Synergy origin trait. Melee Wellmaker, powered melee combatants' final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. And finally, we have hand cannon targeting, improved target acquisition, accuracy, and aim down sight speeds for hand cannons. To be honest, the only real, I would say, essential, get this, make sure you have this mod, is going to be Rocket Launcher Scavenger. The normal Rocket Launcher Scavenger mod is 5. Yes, 5 energy. This one is 1. Literally 1 energy. Plus, G-Horn is G-Horn, and, well, Rocket Launcher Scavenger and G-Horn is a nice little combo. It's essentially essential. Besides that, yeah, you could get hand cannon targeting if you play a lot of PvP and you use a hand cannon. Yes, you could get melee well maker if you're using a melee build that also incorporates elemental wells. Psionic forging is actually something new this season. If you're unsure, all of the new weapons starting in Witch Queen, and I believe going forward, they have origin traits. Essentially, whatever faction made them will get their own origin traits. So like the Glaives have the Psycho Hack origin trait. And if you like those origin traits on whatever weapon it is, I believe there's 4 origin traits currently. And if you like it and you want it to last longer, then you can get this mod. And then Glaive Dexterity, well, if you like Glaives and want your Glaive to, get whipped out faster, you want to whip it out faster, then by all means go for it. Now for column 3, we have Glaive Scavenger. Glaives get bonus reserves when picking up ammo used by that Glaive. Thermo Shock Plating reduces incoming solar damage from combatants, reduces incoming arc damage from combatants. Auto Rifle Loader increases reload speed of auto rifles. Font of Might, picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type, grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. And finally, Psionic Forging 2 increases the duration of the land tank origin trait and the effect of the Hake Breach Armaments origin trait. To be honest, just like column 2, there's only one real essential mod here, and that's going to be Thermal Shock Plating. Seriously, when I first read this, I couldn't believe what I was actually reading. If you're unsure, normally you need a chest piece of whatever type that you're trying to have a resistance from on. So if you wanted solar resistance, you'd have to run a solar chest piece. If you wanted arc resistance, you have to run an arc chest piece. And then if you wanted void, of course, a void chest piece. But now you could just run this on a void chest piece. So you'd have solar resistant and arc resistant, and then you could just throw on void resistant on your void chest piece, and then you'd be covered on all fronts. So this is 100% a must-have mod, especially for survivability, in-game content, all that good stuff. Now, Font of Might is currently being used in a stasis build that makes Reed's Regret, which is the Trials linear fusion rifle, the best damage option in the game. I'm not going to get into this video because that's a completely different topic for another video. I might make a video on it. Let me know if you want me to. And then Psionic Forging 2, just like Psionic Forging 1, if you use those weapons, you want the duration of the origin trait to last longer, then use it. Auto Rifle Loader, if you love auto rifles and you just want them to reload faster, then by all means go for it. It's not a bad mod. And then Glaive Scavenger, just like Rocket Launcher Scavenger, well, it costs less than the normal Glaive Scavenger. So if you use Glaives, get it. Now for column 4, starting us off, we have Unstoppable Glaive. Glaives you wield fire a powerful explosive payload that stuns unshielded combatants, strong against unstoppable champions. Lucent Finisher, defeating a Lucent Hive Lightbearer or champion with your finisher spawns heavy ammo for you and your allies. Suppressing Glaive, damaging combatants with your glaive suppresses them, preventing them from using abilities for a short duration. Overload Grenade, void grenades disrupt combatants, stunning them, delaying ability energy regeneration, and lowering combatant damage output, strong against overload champions. And then finally, Inferno Whip, solar melee ability, stun unshielded combatants, strong against unstoppable champions. Now the first mod in column 4 that you should 100% unlock immediately, Lucent Finisher. When I first read this, I thought it said Lucent Hive Lightbearer champion, but no, there's an or in there. So just a normal champion or a Lucent Hive Lightbearer. So one of the hive that will delight. If you finish them, you get heavy ammo. This is really, really good. It's essentially heavy ammo on command. The other mod that is going to be worth looking at and picking up is going to be Overload Grenades. And that's not just because it's your only option, because Overload Rounds is currently bugged, but because of the new Void 3.0 subclass. Well, a lot of people are using Void, and Overload Grenade is normally a pretty decent mod. But yeah, this is a good mod because, for one, the other Overload mod doesn't work, and B, this is just a really good mod. Everyone's using Void, and there's a mod that we're about to talk about in column 5, and that's another reason why people are going to be using Void a lot. Then we have Suppressing Glaive, the mod that I just said we're going to talk about in column 5. Well, this mod can directly benefit that mod, like an on-command activated, and that mod is really good. Inferno Whip I don't recommend unless you're using a ranged solar melee. And Unstoppable Glaive, well, I don't know why you would use a special weapon to be your unstop when you have 2 really good unstop hand cannon, and unstop pulse rifle that are primary ammo. And then finally, column 5, we have Suppression Mastery. Suppression effects you create have increased duration. Devouring Depths, casting your Void Super while you are critically wounded or benefiting from Devour increases your damage with that super. Volatile Flow, picking up a Void Elemental Well, grants your Void weapons Volatile Rounds, which Volatile Rounds, if you don't know, just means that, the enemies explode. Energy Vampirism, regain energy for your least charged ability when you suppress a target. And finally, Suppressive Darkness, whenever you suppress a combatant, you also weaken them, causing them to take additional damage for a short duration. So the first mod right off the bat, get Suppressive Darkness. It's literally the Oppressive Darkness. It's the Particle Deconstruction. It's the mod that makes certain things do a lot of damage. It's like the really OP mod for that season, and that's what this mod is for season 16. Get it. Seriously, it's really good. Suppressing enemies, it's very easy now because Void 3.0 allows every single subclass to get suppression grenades. Also, you have suppressing glaives, so if you don't want to use the nade, then you can just suppress them with the weapon. And yeah, all around, I 100% recommend this mod. This is going to be the OP mod this season. Now, a perfect mod to pair with that is going to be Suppression Mastery, simply because this increases the duration of your suppression. So it's going to pair extremely nice with Suppressive Darkness. Plus, both of them are class item mods, so you can run this on your class item, it costs 7, and then you can run this on your class item, it costs 3. So in total, that's 10. You can fit both these mods on your class item. Now, besides that, these other mods in column 5 are good, but they are just nowhere near as good as Suppression Mastery and Suppressive Darkness. They are good though, don't get me wrong, but Suppressive Darkness and Suppression Mastery are your two go-tos. Get those first. Plus, like I said, this is kind of like a first 12 to 14 mods you want to unlock, and I've already kind of covered up to that amount in covering these. Well, you can just get these later on, but that is your season 16 Season of the Risen / Start of Witch Queen seasonal artifact, the Synaptic Spear. Now, if you are new around here and you enjoy my videos, then feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Also, let me know down below which mod you're looking forward to using the most. For me personally, it's Suppressive Darkness. All right, I'm really looking forward to using that. If it turns out to be super busted, I'll make a video on it. But yeah, let me know down below what you're looking forward to using the most. And there I go, getting kicked to orbit. Feel free to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.